Hello everyone, good evening. I hope you're doing great. If you can hear me, just say yes on the chat window. And if my screen is also visible, do let me know. So, audible and visible, all good. You can type on the chat window if I'm audible. Yes, okay, wonderful. So today is one of the most important session for Docker, right? Because we are going to do a couple of fun today. And good evening everyone. Really, so I just done with one training with Oracle. So the logo you are seeing in the video, that is by Oracle itself. So I'm just आज कुछ ऐसा हुआ है, putting पत्थर on my heart. So I'm using Microsoft Windows today, right? For you all, I don't know, I don't like it anyway, but this is the session for Oracle today. So I have designed a couple of MS Paint, kind of this. Look at this one, okay? So anyway, it's all fun for me. So before doing anything, let's play with the quiz. And this is the quiz that we are doing today. It's hosting challenge, putting it back, and just clicking here. So just go with the flow and have fun. Stopping this music, just join it. So waiting for players to come online. Not, is it still delay? Because I cannot see player here. Okay, great, it's there. So whosoever winner will be today, so I'm organizing party for him or her, जो भी होगा top 1 पे, right? So you can come to Jaipur after this COVID and we'll have fun. Anyway, let's say, so around 41 people have joined till now. Waiting for more. "34 people are here in quiz." So 1 more minute to wait, rest will start. So as of now, the top people are from GITS, that is Gitanji Institute of Technical Studies. Okay, so 52. I think somebody is joining twice or thrice, maybe, to win the game. Is it? That day, yesterday, day before that, I mean, just got that point. Anyway, so do it anyway, hook or by crook. So 54, final 54 people are here in the quiz, and I think I can start now. One more here, Albert. Okay, so it's 5:32, around 5:33 max. I'll be starting with the quiz. So 50 people and 56. Okay, so it's about to start. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, go. Wonderful. So here is your first question on the screen, and right here it's 58, still 58. Okay, 58. Nice. Now done. First question in which wonderful, maximum correct answers. So you know what, a couple of people have given option number 1. Let me revise whatever we had in the past. So if you remember that thing, I'm using my MS Paint today. Wow, this MS Paint is being so long, and I have a couple of things to do. Okay, see, if we really talk about Docker and specifically this community edition or enterprise edition, so if you want to install Docker, so the ultimate thing is you need a Linux kernel, and that Linux kernel must be at least 3.10 version or bigger. But if you want to install Docker in Windows platform, so Windows 2016 is the server that has the capability. So if you talk about Windows 10, right, so in Windows 10 we are using two software, either Docker Toolbox or Docker Desktop, right? So we are using any of the software like either Toolbox or Desktop, and any of the software we are using, they are installing in Linux indirectly. So that means even if you are using Docker Toolbox or Docker Desktop, the software is installing Linux first in the Windows machine and then installing Docker over there. So the question is about in which Windows server we can install Docker directly. When I say directly, means without Linux support, because Docker was designed to do so, right? And by the way, this question is also this thing is also very much clear. Windows 10 is not a Windows server, right? So Windows server. So these are different things. So Windows 10 is not an option, even the right one, okay? Although maximum people have given this right answer because I have explained it in the beginning of the tutorial. Anyway, so let's see. Nice, Ketan twice. Ketan, what are you doing, man? You have two things, two phone or something. Pykate 40 and 40 Baba. I think there is some locha. Don't do it, right? Because others are. If you're a champion, just come on, give a competition. Blessed. So docker exec, and whosoever guys at least 9, 10, 20, 25, there are still 25 people who are not revising docker, right? So for you, if you're not revising it, there is no meaning of attending session. So maybe a couple of people are not getting the labs. So I can tell you one thing, there is a live Docker labs that you can use without installing it anywhere, right? So if you're not able to install it in your system, so there is a website that is actually, there is a Bangalore based startup that is Kata Coda. So if you go there in the Kata Coda web front end application and you click here, they have couple of interactive sessions where see free courses, Docker, Kubernetes, machine learning, and so many things are there, even playgrounds, programming, Visual Studio, so many things. So if you start with the first one, Docker and container, I'm starting the first course, and then I'm starting this, what is a container, right? So I'm just, or there are a couple of more, running container. So I'm starting the first one, that is what is a container, and start. When you start with the scenario, it may ask for a sign up. You can log in from GitHub, right? And here you can just begin with the scenario, and boom, you don't have to copy any of the command. This live Linux machine where the Docker is pre-installed, you can see Docker images or Docker version 17.12. You don't have to worry. Anything that you are doing as a practical, you can just do here. At least practice whatever we are doing in the session, right? So here, let's say I want to run Docker pull Alpine. So it will be pulled, and if I see the RAM around 1 GB, and it's more than enough, right? Which operating system it is? So this operating system is Ubuntu 16.04, and you can run likewise Docker run -d-name ashutosh container 1 alpine ping and fb.com. This very much same way, right? Docker ps. So at least you don't have anything to complain to someone that you're not having labs and all. So this is a very good company that is providing a free labs. This session will be available for 40 minutes only. After 40 minutes you can refresh your browser and log it and do it again. It's not a problem. So you don't have to install, just do practice here, right? So I'm sharing this link with you all in the chat window so that you can just do a couple of cool things. Okay, so I'll be taking that one session about Docker E and C, the difference in features. Don't worry about that, Piyush. Okay, and wonderful if you are using this, okay, one, so it's amazing, it's wonderful. All right, now here just clicking on the next, yeah, PyKid on the top, right? So couple of new changes in the ranking, and let's do it next. So I'm going to extend this one, and here, third question: Who is the creator of Docker? I think it's the related question. Wonderful. 46 correct answer. Solomon Hykes is the one who developed Docker. And let's see the ranking. That is great. Wonderful. And I'm going to do it next one. Fast killing of a container. Take your time. Give the right answer. Maximum correct answers. The fast killing is Docker kill, right? Even it's more powerful than rebooting an operating system. Nonit is on the game. Which one? Use this. So the right answer is rebooting. That cannot be a container state. That means container can be in a created environment, can be an up, can be exited, but not in the rebooting state. Anyway, great. So next is right here. Probably you can guess it if you don't know. correct answers. Where the Docker is the one. And before moving it, Piyush has asked when the created state came. Okay, so this is a ranking, by the way. So let me give some idea. So basically, whenever you are creating a container from Docker image, let me erase that new one. So if you have this Docker engine, right? So this is your Docker engine. Let me Docker engine, and you create container from here. Okay, you create container from here. So container can have, you know, up state, can have exited state, and can have created state, right? Can have restarted, and so many. When the created state came in picture, so let's say if I'm gonna use my PowerShell, and here if I'll do something like docker run -itd -name, okay, alpine and ping fb.com, right? So if I'll show you this one, this is status is up, that state is up, right? If I kill this container, okay, now your state becomes exited. But if you are trying to run a container and you are giving some program that is not present in the Docker image, the program is not present in the Docker image. So once you do that, once you hit that, so it doesn't mean container not got created. So container is created, but the program was not successfully executed. So this state we call it created. So if you're giving some unwanted program that is not present in the container, so that state is created. Hopefully you get the answer, Piyush. Check. Okay, so anyway, and okay, just doing the next 7th question. Which component of Docker is providing resource limit for containers? I think you can say last option. Incorrect answers, right? Still there are 9 people who think that system. Okay, so the right answer is C groups, that is control groups. So let me give you some idea about the same. It will take a few seconds. So if you have this Docker engine, and that Docker engine is there, and from a Docker image, right, if you create a container, right, so by default this container will take only that amount of resources that is required by the parent process that is running in the, I cannot say parent process, that is required by the application or software running inside container. So let's say if you are hitting date command, so this container will only take that amount of resources that is required by date. And if you're running any big process, big application, so container can take a dynamic resources from a Docker engine. So if you don't want to make this resources dynamic, so by default container is taking a dynamic resources. That means on demand. So if container requires only a few KB RAM, it will take only few KB. It requires 100 GB RAM. If it is present in the Docker engine, it will give, right? So I want to stop my container. You are not allowed to use more than 100 MB RAM or more than 1 core CPU or more than that amount of storage. So if I want to do that, the component in Docker is C groups. Actually this is not a component of Docker, that is a component or feature of kernel, Linux or whatever kernel you use. So C groups can limit the resources to the container, right? Any specific container. So the right answer is C groups. Okay, next. Trump. Okay, good. Next. So responsible component for container isolation is namespaces. So 18 people have given the correct answer, 22 tried Docker Hub. I really don't understand why people are giving Docker Hub, because Docker Hub is the one where you can download or upload Docker images. There is no relation of container isolation. Anyway, but if I'll try to explain again, so let's say again I'm going to create a new page, and let's say this is my Docker engine. So this is my Docker engine, and here I have Docker engine running, right? What you did, from this Docker image you have created a container called this. So this is your container that you are creating from this Docker image, and that container is using some library or some resources from your system. Now after some time, what you did, you have created another container here, right? So you created another container, and maybe you have created from the same image or from a different image, it doesn't matter. And that is also using some library or some software from a host. Now the idea is, because why we are using container to understand and to run our scenario, so there is a no library config. So whatever this container is doing, or whatever this container is doing individually, they are not allowed to access their information or their resources at all. So this container will understand, yes, everything that is running, that is a closed in an isolated jail. It's like a jail or a private room for every container. So whenever you start a container from a Docker image, every container will be closed in a box, so that You can assume like that. So how I can just tell you, let me give another example. Docker container ship. Fine, this is the perfect example. So let's say if you talk about this one, right, this image. So Docker is working on behalf of exactly the same technology, right? Okay, exactly the same technology. So where this ship is a Docker engine, and every container that is here, all containers are isolated or blocked. So they are closed, they are very much closed, so that whatever data is in the container 1, it cannot be shared with the container 2, right? So this is my container 1, container 2, container 3. So these are iron boxes, and this ship is a Docker engine. So if you want to compare with the same, so this Docker engine is a ship, and this is container 1, container 2, right? Container 1, container 2. So each container are isolated, so you cannot see whatever it is inside this. So this isolation of a container is maintained by a component, we call it namespaces. So namespace, it's a very popular interview question generally. Who is maintaining isolation in a Docker? Okay, so the right answer is namespace. I hope it's all clear. I'm just going next. So now, second last question. Which one is not similar to Docker? Rarely. So 8 people have given the correct answer, right? Let me tell you one more thing here. See, we are living in the world of something that we call it containers, right? So the main thing, people want to create containers. People want to create containers. People want to create containers. They want to create container, and they want to create containers, right? And these are the containers. This is, let's say, Java container. This is, let's say, MySQL container. This is, let's say, Python container. This is, let's say, C container, right? Now to create container, we need some engine, right? To create container, we need some engine, and we call it container engine. We call it container runtime engine. Runtime engine, right? So when we need container runtime engine, now in IT industry there are a couple of software or technology that can provide container runtime engine, and the one that you are reading about as of now is Docker. So Docker is the one platform or software that can provide container runtime engine, so that this container runtime engine can manage, create or upgrade or maintain these containers. So these are containers, right? But let's say in some case, or because of some reason you don't want to use Docker. So the other component that you can think about is Podman, right? Podman. And Podman can also provide container runtime engine. Likewise, we have a Rocket, and we have container D. So these are other options in case you don't want to use Docker. So instead of Docker, you can use Podman, Rocket, containerization. They all can do the same. Like for example, if you want to use browser, we have a choice: Firefox, Google Chrome, Mozilla, and so many, right? So likewise, if you don't want to use Docker, there are so many options. Except Kubernetes, all are container platform, so they can start and create container, right? So I hope it will be very much clear. And Rhythm is giving the right answer anyway. So final question. So last is the correct one. Either you can use this or this command to start a service of Docker in the Linux based OS. Anyway, let's see the ranking. Third. Good job. Oh my god. Closing this all. So this is the one, that is the reality of containers we are working on. Okay, why service docker start is right is not right? Because there is no command like this in any of the OS right now. We are not, the syntax is not correct, Piyush. Okay, so what is the agenda of today that we are going to discuss? I think we already had in the last time. Okay, so today we are going to talk about custom Docker image, or I can say create our own Docker images. So why we have to create our own Docker images? Because from a Docker image, if you create container, generally that container will accept that program. So let's say if you are giving date command, you are giving ping command or something, so that command is already present in this Docker image. So I hope you remember the fact, and the fact was, let's say if you want to access labs, you can do it in your system as well. So I'm just accessing it like https:// this 4200. right? It's not accessible. What's going on? So let me allow a security rule to edit that. So it's 4200 from anywhere. Save rules. Okay, I'll check that. So your answer is also correct. It's not HTTP, it's HTTPS advanced, and we got it. I think the password was Devops @123. Yes. So I'm logging here. Although if you have Windows PowerShell, you can also set a variable, or I can use it simply from here, right? Docker images. So now yes, couple of state are there in the container. I have just listed few of them. Even more than restart also we have. So what I'm doing, either if you want to connect from your PowerShell, so you can use $env and docker_host is in the double quotes TCP:// this IP:2375, then close. And if I do docker images again, font size. Okay, how to increase font size in Windows? So property, font size, yes. Okay, so this is what I say, Docker that I'm connecting here. So why we have to create, I hope you remember the fact that because whatever Docker image you are going to use to create container, so let's say if I am using like docker run it-rm alpine ping fb.com, right? Then when I hit enter like this, so I'm getting the output. Now the point is this program I'm supplying as a container runtime program because this ping program is already present in the Docker image, right? Remember the fact, everything that we are supplying here, that is already present anyhow in the Docker image, either one way or another, doesn't matter, right? So see, if the program is present in the Docker image, then that means the meaning of containerization is if you have a Python code or you have a Java code and you want to run this code in a container, so first of all you have to create your own Docker image, and that Docker image will be integration of your code plus Docker image, and then you can create container. I hope you are getting point, because in this example if I'm giving ping, so ping is already present in the Alpine image. So if I want to run my Python or Java code inside a container, so container is getting started from a Docker image, right? From a Docker image, and from this Docker image we can create container. So that means Docker image must have the code as well, right? If you're getting the logic and point, welcome to Docker development part, and we are going to start it. Just say yes on the chat window if you are understanding this. Everything that is only present in the Docker image that you can run as a container. So if you got the point, just say yes on the chat window. I can start doing that. Start so waiting for your response in the great. So wonderful. Now, so how we create our own custom Docker images, right? So to create your own Docker images, we have a couple of ways, right? So how we create Docker images. So there are a couple of ways. I'm just telling about the most popular 3 ways, right? The first one is manual. That means you have to create manual Docker image. That means it's a lengthy process, but yes, it is a possibility. The second and the most popular method is by using dockerfile. And the third one, there is a tool, popular tool called Builder, right? So either you can use this or this or this. So Builder is a much advanced tool as compared to anything else. So we as a developer, we are going to use this dockerfile. So this dockerfile will be using in our own way. All right, now let's do that. So we are going to use dockerfile to create our own Docker images, right? So create Docker images. So if you want to do that, you have to just you have to follow some rules. So let's say if you are login here like this, so what you have to do, if you are login here, then you have to create a folder. Let's say Ashutosh app or Ashutosh code. Don't give the same name, right? And once you give this, cannot allocate memory. Do we have a lack of resources or what? We have, right? So are you guys are not able to create this one? All right. So if you're not able to do that here, let me tell you. So it's not mandatory all the time to create your code in your system or in your system somewhere. So what we can do, I hope you all have GitHub account, so you can directly log in into your GitHub. So let's create code directly over there, and we can connect our Docker to the GitHub. So that means I'm giving a more advanced way you can connect. So the way we are going to use here is very simple. So see, this is my Docker that is running on top of AWS cloud. Its Docker password is devops@123. I told you, just note it down, right? AWS, and here we are running Docker engine. So, and my code I'm putting on GitHub, right? And along with the code, I'll put dockerfile also. Then I'll connect my Docker to connect this link, and from my own system I can tell to build image. So that's why I'm just logging into my Docker hub, and this was a COVID summer 19 something. So what I can do, I am not using this repo. I'm gonna create a new one, and I'm giving a name like my summer 2020 py app or Python code, right? So once I do that, I'm just creating a public repo. Don't forget to initialize it, right? and you don't have to do it along with me. You can do it after the session and create it. So I have created this public repo. Now what I'm doing, I'm first creating a sample Python code here. So I'll be showing you Java code, C#, Python, or maybe any Django base, any HTML base. So don't worry about that. And I'm just creating a new file here. The file name I'm giving, let's say ashutosh.py, and the code I'm writing, it's very simple. I'm importing time here, and then under while loop and giving a true condition, right? Let me do that because it may be a low font, so a problem for someone. So I'm just writing code here. You can take it from there. So import time while any condition in Python that is true, and then give an indentation like something, and I'm writing print hello docker, giving a sleep time.sleep of 2 seconds, then giving another method, and that method is okay Google, thanks for Golang. Okay, and the same code I'm gonna copy and paste in my GitHub. If you don't want to create it, just use my repo simply. So this is my Python code, and I'm saving back. So day 6 Python code. So you don't have to write it if you don't want to. This is my Python code. Even if you want to write it here, you can just do one thing. Create a folder in your desktop. Let's say I'm creating a folder giving summer 2020, and I'm saving this code in my desktop under the folder name summer 2020, and the file name I'm gonna save like hello.py. So same way, if you don't want to use your GitHub, you can use your folder, and that folder has only that thing. Don't make this file as a text, so the file name is .py, right? Because I don't have Python installed in my system, that's why it's not visible in that way. So file name is hello.py, and the code is right here. Okay, once you have the code, how we integrate this code with Docker? So we have discussed same, we need to create Dockerfile. So I'm gonna create Dockerfile both here also. So I have to create another file called Dockerfile. How we increase font here? So 18 and this. Okay, so how we create a Docker file? So let's say we have to give a name first in saving this by the name of, I'm not giving any extension by the way, and the file name must be dockerfile. As of now, you don't have to give anything else name, right? Simply Dockerfile, no extension, nothing. And if you are creating it on GitHub, same here also. So create a file, don't give any other name, let's say dockerfile, and right here. So you don't have to give any name. So the idea behind running code in the container is you have to create an empty folder or a repo where code and Dockerfile you can put it together simply, right? And how we gonna use that? So Dockerfile has couple of instructions, right? So let me use my paint again. So a Dockerfile has couple of instructions, and that instruction you have to remember. Okay, once you use Dockerfile for maybe 2, 3 or maybe number of time, you will be able to do that. It's not a problem. So I'm just showing you. So the first instruction is from. It doesn't matter you're writing in a caps or in small letter, that means it's completely case sensitive, right? And give at least one space or more than one, it doesn't matter. And you know that to run your Python code, right, to run your Python code, we need Python image, right? We need Python image. So I'm using from Python. Here the Python is an image name, so I'm commenting it out. It will check for Python image in Docker engine. If not present, then we'll pull from Docker Hub, right? So that means the from instruction, what it will do, it will take that responsibility. If Docker based Python image is present in Docker engine, it's all fine. If it is not present, it will pull it from Docker Hub automatically. Second is maintainer, and maintainer is nothing, it's about the maintainer information. So I'm giving my email address and my contact number, maybe regarding something. If someone regarding this image, someone want to connect with me if they face some problem or they're facing some problem. So I'm just writing this is developer of Docker image. So whosoever, I'm just putting the comment so that you can understand what this keyword is all about. So this is completely optional. I'm also writing this keyword is optional. Okay, now the third instruction is copy, or I can just do something. I can create run instruction and I will create a directory called, let's say, my code, right? This run instruction can execute any Linux command inside my Docker image. So that I'm going to create, that I am going to create. So that means, I hope the three instructions you are just showing here, I'm just showing you here, from, maintainer and run. This is for referring the base image, developer information, and creating a folder. That means you can write anything, date, cal, whatever the need is. Now the next instruction is copy. So my code name is, first was hello.py. So my code name is hello.py. I'm copying it to the folder that I have created above, and I have to write the same name here, right? So in general, it's a good practice to write the name, although you can ignore it, right? So it will, no, run is not optional, maintainer is optional. See, I'm writing comment and first keyword then comment. So run is not optional. If you want to use or not use it, it doesn't matter. So if you don't want to create any directory, just you cannot write if you want. I'll tell you, right? Just so it will copy code from local system to Docker image. So this one, the hello.py, is in my local system, and that is here. See, hello.py is here, and that I'm going to copy it from there. So it will copy under this folder. If you don't want to write this run instruction, it's all fine. So you have to copy in some other location that is already present, right? So we'll do couple of dockerfile building so you will understand, because around more than 10 or more than 15 files we are going to build. Okay, and finally the instruction, we call it cmd. Here you can write python space my code. That is about to come. How to copy code from, so we have couple of examples, Rajiv, right? And hello.py. So this will run this code as default parent process. So this is my first sample Docker image. Don't worry about these comments. The only required things are this. So this is 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, 5 line code. So I'm just summarizing it all. So the ultimate lines you have to write in a way is these only, right? You don't have to copy it again. I'm just showing you what exactly the Docker file is all about. So here, and then this one. So these are the actual instructions, where optional can be anything, that depends on the case, right? So I'm just removing all these lines for now because I have written already there on the above, and that I'm going to copy, and I'm also going to paste in my this Docker file, right? Here I believe the code name was ashu.py, so I'm writing here ashu.py, and here also, so I'm just changing code name only and committing first Docker file and committing it. Yes, so the code name is ashu.py, so I have written the same thing here only. So in my Docker hub, what I did, I just changed this file name to whatever it was here. Okay, so this is something. So I have both the example parallelly. See, please don't get confused, because there are a couple of confusion that you guys are making. So either you can create a folder in your Linux or Windows machine where you can write Docker file and the code along with the same, or if you don't want to put it locally, you can put it in your Docker hub, GitHub, where you have a repo, and that repo has a Docker file and the code. So both are same case. So let me write it down. So Docker file, right? Docker file plus code, you can write it in any of the two places, on a local system or on GitHub. So I'm showing both the examples, this also and this also, so it doesn't matter. So example number 1, that means on the local machine I have created a folder with any name and both are here, and on the second example I have created this repo where dockerfile and code is here. So if you are all set till now, I mean you are understanding whatever I'm trying to say, just say yes in the chat window, so that now we can build our first Docker image. By the way, this is a very simple example of Dockerfile, but still, so we'll be creating so many Dockerfile in many of the cases. Okay, so for Chinmay it's yes. So I'm looking for more yes answers from a couple of people. If you are understanding the point, I mean both the cases, it doesn't matter you are putting your Docker file along with the code in local system or in GitHub, it's all set. Okay, so I'm getting it. Okay, that is wonderful. So I'm showing you a first example. Okay, and that first example is, let me check in my here then Git is installed or not. Okay, fine. So, and time for building Docker image. Now this is going to build, this is going to build Docker image. Right? So how we do that? So first of all, make sure if you are using PowerShell, then so I'm showing first case where the system is in local machine, not in GitHub, right? So first this case I'm showing, and let's say this is my CMD or terminal, it doesn't matter. This is my CMD or terminal. If I'm using CMD, first of all make sure just go to the location where the folder is there, right? So I'm going in CD desktop and summer 2020. So in Windows PowerShell you can use the same command. So I was in a user, I'm going to this location. Anyway, I can just do ls in PowerShell, and you can see here PowerShell is showing there are two files. Remember, the file in Windows, the .txt is automatically they are taking. I don't get the logic, but still, that's why I hate this, right? Hello.py and this. Although according to Docker methodology, no extension will be there. Okay, but if it is there, I have to mention it. Second, when you are here, when you have both the things, you have to set that variable. If it is not set, make sure you are connected to the Docker's engine, right? And now what operation I have to use? Docker build -t. Docker build, I want to build -t. What -t is all about? So I hope if you remember that fact. So when I use when I say Docker image name is Alpine, so actual name is Alpine latest. If you do remember that, just say yes again. This is an image repo, and this is a tag. If you remember this one, that image is a combination of tag and repo. I can show the same here. Images, see, it's a combination of name and tag. Wonderful, so you remember that. So now I have this one. So what I'll do, I use docker build -t. What is the T stand for? Tag. So I want to give, let's say, Ashutosh Pi image 1 colon version 1. So if you don't want to give anything, just leave this. So this will automatically take tag latest. But if you want to tag it, let's say Pi code version 1. So this will be your image name and this will be your code. And if the Docker file is not exactly Docker file, that means the name of Docker file is not Docker file, because the Docker file name is dockerfile.txt. In Windows it is automatically taking. So if there was no .txt, you don't have to do anything, but here you have to supply -f and the name of Docker file, right? F, the name of Docker file, then space dot means current location, and let me do that. See, so what it is doing, actually it is connecting to my Docker engine and pulling that Python image for me. So it is not happening in my local system, right? It is connecting to my Docker engine, pulling that Python image. Once the Python image will be pulled successfully, see, it is executing maintainer, then executing run, then executing copy and cmd, and when it's all done, you have tagged this image successfully, right? Just ignore the security warning by Windows. So I'm sharing history again. See, docker build -t, some image name colon some tag -f file name and dot. If there was no .txt, you don't have to supply that. And if I'll show you Docker images, wow, see, Ashutosh image 1 PyCode, Radham image 1 PyCode. So 2 images got built, and look at the creation time, 48 seconds ago, 32 seconds ago. So first it was built, then it was built, right? So these are 2 images that just got built, and I can check for more. Maybe only 2 images are built as of now. So you can do practical after the session also, but this is the idea of building Docker image. I can just go to my browser shell and connect again, and let me, sorry, I just forgot username, ad hoc and Devops @123, right? And if I'll do Docker images, so I can see here this 2 images are got built. So there is a there is some failure of the image, so whosoever have created the same, but anyway, we have these 2 images that got built. So that is, what, we are doing it on Windows, but it is connecting to that socket and designing that image. Okay, but if you have Docker installed in your local Linux, Windows, Mac, Red Hat, you don't have to do that, right? Just do that command, hit that command, it will be doing that, right? Now we have the image ready. So let's create a container from the same. So I'm going to create a temporary container by docker run it-rm. So I'm not supplying any program. So let's see. So it is saying connection reset by peer. Yes, see, so this Python program is now running in a container in the interval of every 2 seconds. Hey Docker, okay Google, thanks for Golang. And I'm just terminating it by Control C and showing you the history. So how I ran my program, like this. Do practice this all setup in very well manner at your home. So for your practice, you can do the same thing in Kata code also. And today the server will be up for entire night. If you want to practice in my server, the server will be up for entire night. So I'm not gonna stop it for entire night. If you want to practice for whole night, you can just do it. Okay, but I want everybody that dockerfile you will be able to perform that. Alright, so once you do, you will be able to understand exact thing. And likewise, right, see, even if I want to build from here, see, I can build like shit, okay, ad hoc, and password is Devops @123. So I can like build docker build -t now Ashutosh py image $2v1, and see, we know that we don't have folder here, but this time I'm showing you how to build docker image from GitHub URL. So just take this URL from here and pass this to your machine. So I'm passing here, paste, make sure the repo name must have .git in the last, and if I build it, see, wow, it got built very fast because already we have built images. So if your code and dockerfile both are on GitHub and the file name is also dockerfile, so you can build like this. Okay, or maybe you can also build if Windows has Git installed. So I'm just copying it and pasting it right here in my PowerShell. I'm doing the same, and if I'll do like version 2, so server is getting slow a bit, but no worries, it got built here. So if you want to build your Docker image from a GitHub URL, even what you can do, you can use my URL to build that Docker image, right? So look at the power of Docker. We have code here, we have Docker file here, and we are connecting to Docker engine like this. Then we are building image, and after building we are creating containers from that. So I'm gonna create docker run it -rm. So it is creating. Okay, so there is no file like hello ashu.py because I might have some done some mistake here. So ashu.py is here, but yes, actually what I did, see, here I have given ashu.py, but here I have given hello.py. So no worries, but the point is like this is building, this is running, right? Yes. So you know what, there is a big confusion for at least 5 people that I got, right? So there's a big confusion for 5 people. and let me make it very much clear. Please listen to this, because I really got surprised by 5 people at least. So what you are doing, let's say it's a note or important note for everyone. If आपका system, right, like for example this is your Linux machine, right, either Ubuntu, Red Hat, Kali, whatever you have Red Hat, you have Ubuntu, you have Kali, and you have installed Docker here. Okay, you have installed Docker here. Then every single practical, I'm repeating again, all things whatever we have done till yet, you can do here. Even you don't have to set any environment variable like this, because try to understand it, when you are having your own system, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to set any environment variable. Just do the same thing, create folder, create a Docker file, and just do build. That's all. You don't need anything. This thing you have to set when you want to build this image in my server. So when you are setting like this, that means you are building in my server. Let me tell you. So if I close this terminal, right, and I'm starting my own Docker desktop that is running, so I'm showing you the same thing, right? This time I'm opening my CMD or the next terminal, I can say, and my desktop, I'm going to summer 2020, right? And here let's say Docker images, actually this font is very small, so I'm opening PowerShell, and here under the desktop I have summer 2020, right? See, I'm going to show you, if I'll do Docker images, this is my local system. I have not set it any of the environment variable, right? This is my local machine. You can see that the Alpine image is not the only image, because I have couple of images, and you know that, right? How many images I have? I have so many images, like Docker images. These many images I have in my real server, but in my Windows or Linux system, if I only have one image, so I have this Docker one, so I can build here Docker build -t, let's say AA, some name, got version 1 -f dockerfile.txt dot. So this will be building in my local system. I repeat, this will be building in my local machine, in my Linux or Windows, wherever you have Docker pre-installed. Yes, you can change Docker file again and again. I'm telling you, right, we will be having at least 3 to 5 session on Docker file, because that is the main thing in Docker as a developer, right? Right, so I'll give you the answer of all questions whatever you want to ask, but at least just say yes, you're not confused with this, right? When you have your own local system where Docker is installed, you don't have to connect anywhere. Your machine itself a Docker engine and client both. If you're getting this point, please say yes in capital letter. Yes, if you get this point. Wonderful. That means you don't have to connect anywhere. I'm waiting for a couple of more messages, right? And that is really cool. So no server required. Your local system, your Windows, your Linux, or whatever you have installed is itself everything, right? So I have see this my Docker image is getting built, and it got built. And now this time I have my Docker image in my local system where the Python got pulled, A got pulled, right? And see, Python is not installed in my Windows machine, so container will create that environment for me. Okay, that is wonderful. That is really wonderful. So tonight I'll be creating some assignment that is related to Docker only, very much related to Docker, and that you have to perform in your own system. So do anything whatever you want. Make sure you have Docker pre-installed in your Windows or Linux or Mac system. So if you really want to work, just show that anger to your system, right? You're getting my point. Okay, so this is first Docker image. Let me tell you something. So if you talk about this CMD instruction, I want to tell you about CMD instruction. CMD instruction is for that when someone is creating container from your Docker image. So, as I told you, if I'm using docker run it alpine and I'm not defining anything, so the developer of Alpine image has defined that if someone is not writing something or anything, what will be the default program? So default program is shell here. So this decision is taken by this file only. So this decision is taken by this Docker file, and where it is there, under this CMD instruction. So if nobody is giving anything, so CMD instruction will be execute as a default parent process. Fine. If you agree on the point, just type message on the chat window, got it. Not yes every time, got it, you got it. समझ में आ गया, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं, right? So I'm trying my best to make you understand each and every instruction meaning. Yes, got it, okay, done, cool, got it, wonderful. So just keep waiting for the assignment related to Docker. So till now, whatever we have done in the Docker, the assignment will be, some complex, right? Some complex, some easy, and couple of things will be there in the Docker assignment, right? So my vision is very clear in my way, that is, I want you to learn, explore, and make a project in Docker and Kubernetes technology, right? Trust me, this is the only future, because every technology is getting merged with these things. Okay, so I've given both the examples today. Just remember one thing, this video you have to watch again and again and do the practice of how to build Docker image from GitHub, how to build Docker image from a local system, right? Wonderful. So by saying so, I'm saying bye-bye to all of you. I have a lot of work to do now. If you have any question, you can do ask me, otherwise wait for my next assignment, right? So I've seen some results in the previous assignment. Couple of people are giving right answer, couple of people are giving something unwanted, but it's all fine, right? So if it is all good, you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, thank you so much and have fun, right? Thanks a lot, have fun. Just do the same command again, make some changes, same command again, same. If you want to rebuild the image, do the change and same command again. If you want, you can change the tag, rest everything is same. I'll do that. So I'm working on a video how you just create Docker images from YouTube, from GitHub, or maybe from a couple of other things. So that will be, and please do like, subscribe, and share this channel, right? Don't forget to, at least you are 50 people, like and share. Anyway, yeah, that is not for you guys. CKD videos, whatever video I am sharing by tagging you on the WhatsApp or Telegram group, that video is only for you. So I have a lot of technology and pipeline is running. Maximum videos are private, but that was a public one. Anyway, maybe in your local system is got, so you have to access with root user. Try to do it with root user. Yes, Yukta, you can. Right? So anything else? So see you tomorrow, guys, same time, and please do practice a lot about this Docker file, a lot of practice, so you can refer a couple of things or videos. So okay, I'll do that. I don't have any problem in using Windows. Okay, so I'll use Windows machine only. It's not a problem for me. So good night, guys, and have fun. I'm just ending this stream. Rest question you can ask in chat on WhatsApp.